Uy, alam mo ba?
Ayon sa research ko,
Did you know?
Updated ka ba dun sa...
FYI, ito ang kaalaman para sa kabataan. For Youth Info, the podcast.
This podcast is brought to us by the NATCO Youth Committee and the NATCO Children and Youth Team.
Hello, Kabataan, and hello, FYI listeners, and welcome back to another episode of the For Youth Info, the FYI podcast. We've made it to the episode 16 of our FYI podcast. If you didn't know, this podcast is brought to you by DATCO Children and Youth, the youth program of the National Confederation of Cooperatives dedicated to fostering development and leadership among young people. This program is managed by the NATCO Children and Youth Team in collaboration with the NATCO Youth Committee. Welcome to FYI Podcast episode number 16, Stress Detox, Reclaiming Calm in a Chaotic World. In this episode, we're diving into a topic that affects all of us, stress.
Life can get overwhelming, and sometimes you don't even realize how much stress is weighing us down. But what if we could take control and find ways to manage stress, build resilience, and reclaim our sense of calm? That's exactly what we're talking about today. We'll explore practical strategies for handling stress, the science behind how it impacts our mind and body, and how learning to manage stress can improve not just our personal well being, but also how we function in our communities and our cooperative spaces. Whether it's school, work, relationships, or just the pressure of daily life, we all need a stress detox every now and then.
So take a deep breath and get ready for an insightful conversation that might just change the way you handle stress moving forward. All right, so before we dive into our topic, let's get to know who are your hosts are and guest speaker for this episode. Let me begin with myself. Buenos dias sa ating mga FYI listeners. I am Cristal Marie Bendijo from MEMCO, your youth committee member representing Mindanao from Zamboanga City.
Marhay na aga, I am Joy Anpura of Gubat St. Anthony Cooperative GSAC from Gubat Sorsogon, Luzon representative, and we will be your host for today.
Ayan. Good morning naman, Miss Joy. Are you
Yes,
excited ba sa ating podcast for today?
yes, this is my first time, Miss Tal, to join, and I really
Yes.
love the topic.
Actually, naglo-look forward talaga ako na ma-record na itong podcast na ito given the topic kasi as young adults like
Yeah.
us, I yes, stress is talagang present sa ating lives. Kaya wag na tayong magpatumpik-tumpik pa, Miss Joy. I-welcome na natin ang ating guest speaker.
Yes, po. We are honored to have a very special guest with us today. She is the founder and program director of A to Z Wellness Foundation, and Dr. Pauline Kimson is also a wellness and lifestyle medicine doctor, board certified with the Association for Integrative Psychology in the US. She works also for primarily with stress and trauma for children, youth, and families. And she loves to sing, dance, and walk with quiet nature. Ladies and gentlemen, to our dear listeners, please help me welcome Dr. Pauline Kimson.
Good morning po. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Ayan, welcome Doc and excited na po kami sa aming mga matututunan sa inyo. All right, let's get into it, Doc. So, to
Okay.
start with, ano po ba yung some of the most common causes of stress ba among young people today, and how does stress affects our overall well-being?
Alam mo, ang ganda ng tanong na yan, Crystal, no? Kasi sa mga kabataan ngayon, there's so many things happening around. Sa iba, merong mga academic pressure, kunyari, high demand na maging mataas yung grades nila o kaya competitive yung mga exams. Tapos yung mga career prospect, inisip na nila, saan kaya ako? Anong gagawin ko in the future? Yung iba naman sa experience ko, because I've also been counselor sa mga ibang universities and colleges, may financial struggles. Kung kulang yung pang tuition o kaya pambili ng mga gamit or student debt or cost of living, affected din sila. Isa pa sa mga most common yung social media tsaka peer pressure. Yung bang constant comparison to what other people are doing, are having, ayun, nakaka-anxiety sa ibang mga tao. Yung iba naman, uncertainty ng job market, makakakuha ba ako agad ng trabaho pag graduate ako? Or even while studying, yung iba kailangan nila magtrabaho to support themselves. Tapos may mga mental health challenges, especially after nung COVID, because of the isolation, marami nagkaroon ng depression, anxiety, kaiba-ibang mga behavioral and mood disorders. Tapos yung iba naman, family issues. Pwedeng may divorce or separated, may financial instability o kaya may strained relationship, whether sa parents, mga kapatid, or if they have children sa mga anak, or bata silang parent. So, di ba, additional stress factor. And then yung iba, affected sila sa nangyayari sa paligid, mga politics or world issues. Yun. So, because of all these issues, na-affect yung mga well-being, pwedeng sa physical health, mental health, sa pagtulog, nadi-disrupt yung ating pagtulog, di makatulog or nagigising sa gitna ng gabi, nasistrain yung relationship, o kaya yung iba nagkakaroon ng mga physical symptoms na, which we will discuss next.
I'm curious about po, Doc. Kasi di ba po madalas nai-ignore natin sila, hindi natin malaman kung stress na ba yung nararamdaman or kung any other feeling lang po ba yun. So my question, Doc, is how can someone recognize the early signs of it and what happens if we ignore them?
Oh, it can be sometimes as simple as headache, so masakit ang ulo or nagma-migraine, nagma-muscle ache, yung mga muscles, kasukasuan, nagkakaroon tayo ng tension, constant tension, o kaya fatigue. Pagising mo pa lang sa umaga, pagod ka na. Hindi ka pa nagtatrabaho, hindi ka pa nag-aaral, pagod ka na. Yung iba, digestive issue, so hindi sila natutunawan or masakit ang tiyan, or parang parating there's something that seems to be wrong. Tapos yung sleep disturbance, yun nga, yung dati kaya mong matulog, tapos bigla ngayon masyadong isip ng isip. Tapos hindi ka makatulog, cannot start sleep or cannot maintain sleep, or waking up from sleep, pagod pa rin. For others naman, yung early signs of stress is nagsastruggle sila ng mood swings. So hindi naman time of the month, kunyari sa ating mga babae, pero bakit ganun? May mood swing na, madaling ma-irritate, ma-overwhelm, na-anxious kahit na wala namang nangyayari, parang yung sa iba naman pag na-notice mo sa behavior, nag-iiba, pwedeng eating habits nag-iiba. Either sumusobrang dami or dalas ng kain or sumusobrang hindi makakain or nasusuka. Yung bang hindi ka na kagaya ng dati na, relax lang tayo, enjoy lang tayo. Parang hindi na siya either makakain or sobrang kumain. And then the others would be social withdrawal. Dating makikisama ka with friends and events, parties, group activities, tas biglang hindi na siya sasama. Gusto niya nasa bahay, nasa kwarto na lang siya naka-isolate. O kaya may work, may homework, may kailangan isubmit sa trabaho o sa school. Tapos parati na lang nagpo-procrastinate. Parang putting it off hanggang sa lahat, sabay-sabay na overwhelm na sa dami. And then yung iba, they even are using excessive alcohol, excessive cigarettes, and ano pa ba, caffeine, anything else that help them to cope, kaya lang hindi na siya helpful habits. Those are some. And then, ang second question mo with that is, ano yung consequence? Ano ba mangyayari kapag in-ignore natin? Hindi natin pinakinggan na may stress na pala tayong nararamdaman or kaibigan natin or family member, and then hindi lang natin sila pinansin. What could happen kung tuloy-tuloy yan, paulit-ulit every day, week by week, month by month? Eventually, it can lead to chronic health issues. For example, long-term pag tumatanda na tayo. Or actually, even sa mga kabataan minsan, nagkakaroon na ng high blood pressure, bata pa lang, ng heart disease. O kaya bumababa immunity, madali tayong magkasakit. So that's some of the chronic physical health issues. Pagdating naman sa mental health issues, nagkakaroon ng development ng anxiety disorder, depressive disorder or depressive mood swings, which can later become, di ba, bipolar issues, o kaya nababurn out. Yung para bang hindi na lang siya small stress, it's come to the point na sobrang wala ka ng energy, burned out na burnout ka na. So, in that case, hindi ka na productive. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo na magawa yung even the smallest tasks of every day. At because of that, nasa-strain na rin yung mga relationship. Nagkakaroon ng conflict because of either isolation or lack of communication. Pwedeng ma-misinterpret na baka galit ba siya? Naiinis ba siya? Hurt ba siya? Ano nangyayari? Because hindi nga makakommunicate dahil sa sobrang nababurnout na siya. So those are some of the consequences of ignoring stress. Kaya maganda na ma-recognize early kasi we can ask for help agad. Pwedeng friends, family, or even healthcare professionals like counselors natin sa school o kaya sa private or public. And even free group listening sessions like what we have dun sa ibang organizations where I'm medical advisor.
Thank you so much, Doc. Very insightful ng sagot niyo po. Ngayon ko lang po na-realize na yung stress po pala, isang word lang siya, pero ang lawak-lawak po ng scope niya. And ngayon ko lang po nalaman. And misconception po kasi pag sinabing stress, ay sakit-sakit ang ulo ko. Lagi yung sa ulo lang, sakit ang ulo ko. Baka stress ako. May effect din po pala like sa digestive ng tao, yung stress, hindi lang pala sa ulo or yung sakit ng ulo lang. Madami pa pala.
Oo, yung
So,
iba naman sa urinary, yung ihi sila ng ihi, yung kasi hindi ka nga makarelax. So all the muscles are tense. Sakit balikat, masakit leeg, masakit likod. It can be anything. It depends saan yung sa body mo. Usually ka nang hihina
apektado
or
po pala
mahina.
lahat.
Yes.
Apektado. Once someone notices naman, Doc, na they're feeling stressed, what are some practical and effective stress management techniques we can incorporate into our daily lives, Doc?
Thankfully, marami tayong maisi-share about that. One of them is mindfulness and meditation. And it doesn't have to be something so difficult or advanced. Pwedeng as simple as breathing in and breathing out, putting our feet on the floor, just being aware of the body from the head all the way down to the bottoms of the feet. Thus, we're just simply listening to our body, papakiramdaman saan ba merong gustong magpa-TLC, magpa-tender loving care na area ng body ko, ano nangangailangan ng tulong. It can be as simple as that with breathing. Pwede rin naman, aside from the calming, pwede rin yung movement, physical activities. Can be walking, dancing, pwedeng hiking, pwedeng dun ka sa nature, sa may tabing dagat, sa may bundok, dyan sa garden, may mga mindfulness na movement meditations like Tai Chi Cha, joyful movement, may mga Qigong, yoga, di ba? Maraming iba-iba. And it doesn't have to be something special movement like Zumba or others. Whatever it is that will help you move, basta gumalaw ka. The other one is healthy sleep habit. Kasi if we don't sleep, kunyari, 10 o'clock, usually pataas na yung cortisol or stress hormone levels natin. So, mas lalong mahirapan matulog. And if you don't sleep, mas tatago yung fat, lalaki yung siya natin. And so, when we sleep, yun yung nagre-recover, nalilinisan yung bara ng katawan, nare-repair yung mga sakit or dating na-injure natin. So, importante na sleep hygiene. And then, what else? Siyempre, estudyante or young workers, time management. Importante yan. So, pwedeng may planner or apps to organize to help us become productive. The other one is social support. So, hanap tayo ng friends na tutulong sa atin to have healthy habits. Sabay-sabay tayong mag-relax, sabay-sabay tayong maglakad, sabay-sabay tayong kumain ng healthy food, sabay-sabay tayong mag-usap or makinig sa isa't isa. Isa pa na napakahalaga sa atin ngayon, yung limiting social media. Magkaroon medyo ng media break. And the last one that I will share is simply have a creative outlet. Whether you like to sing, to dance, to draw, to paint, mga hobbies mo, sewing, anything, art, writing, anything that will help you express emotionally will be helpful.
Thank you, Doc. That's definitely some things that we should try. Actually, share ko lang din. Halos yung minention niyo po, I'm taking down notes kasi chine-check ko yung, parang ganun din po yung ginagawa ko. Like parang walking, jogging, and it really helps talaga po na mabawasan yung stress. And din yung pong sinabi niyo pong isa is yung, yun nga po is very common po sa atin is yung sa social media. Kasi nga po, di ba,
Yes.
isa din po yung, yun sa source din ng stress, lalo po yung sa mga posting and all. And i-share ko lang din na nung Holy Week po, trinay ko po yung mag-detox. Inalis ko po yung talaga yung social medias ko. At least for a week. So parang mas ma-connect po ako dun sa mga outside na people, sa mga real people, bukod po dun sa internet na nakikita ko lagi almost of
Good.
the day. So yun nga po. And thank you po dun sa mga iba na pwede ko pa rin matry. And sana matry din po ng mga listeners po natin na medyo mga simpleng bagay lang po pero kayang-kayang gawin nating lahat, lalo na po yung mga youth. So yung next question po namin is related po sa social media. How does social media po ba affect and contribute to stress and anxiety, and what are some healthy ways to set digital boundaries?
One is comparison culture. Parati nating tinitignan, tapos pag tinitignan natin, nako-compare natin yung sarili natin. Meron siyang ganon, na-achieve niya to, bakit ako, hindi ako ganon. So in that sense, we can get stressed. Yun naman sa fear of missing out. Yung hindi ka na makaalis sa screen kasi paano kung ma-miss ko? Tapos hindi ako maka-join, tapos ma-outcast ako. Nakaka-cause din yun ng anxiety. And then meron din, sad to say, may mga cyberbullying, tsaka negative um, postings ng ibang tao, which means, the intention is to hurt someone else. So, in that way, na-anxious din yung tao, even that person na bigyan ng negative information o kaya yung mga mahal niya sa buhay who care about that person, di ba? The other one is, aside from that, yung nahaharas nga tayo, is doom scrolling. So, na-expose tayo sa maraming negative stories or negative talk, negative sounds. And di ba, we become what we think about, what we hear, and what we speak about. So, in that case, pag puro negative, na-affect talaga ang physical body down to the very cells. And then yung social validation, yung pressure nga, pressure to perform, to succeed, magkaroon ng like. Naku, isa lang like ko, isang daan ng like niya. 'Di ba? Nasa stress na sila for the likes and want for approval from other people. So, what can be some of the healthy ways where we can set healthy digital boundaries? So aside from personal physical boundaries, meron ding digital boundaries. So one of them is, let's limit screen time. Halimbawa, mag-set ka ng daily usage caps. Ngari, ako, 1 hour a day. Or whatever is kung dati 24 hours ka, unti-unti mong bawasan. Di ko sabihin, sige, back zero agad. Yung iba kasi nagkakaroon ng separation anxiety din. And then you can also curate your feed. Ibig sabihin, piliin mo yung i-click mo, ilalike mo at panunuorin at pakikinggan, especially if it's inspiring and uplifting content. Which means, kung ano kasi yung nilike mo, ano yung winatch mo, pinakinggan mo, mas ipapadala sa algorithm ng Facebook, ng Netflix, ng YouTube, kung ano yung winawatch mo at pinapakinggan mo. Number 3, kagaya ng ginawa ni Joy nung Holy Week, nag-digital detox siya. Be with your family. Be with your loved ones instead of nandun ka nagsuscroll. And then, you can also gauge intentionally. So, pipiliin mo yung meaningful sa'yo. Yung mga tao who support you and you have positive interactions with. Kasi nababasa yan sa algorithm ng Facebook at ng YouTube. Also, be mindful of triggers. Halimbawa, meron kang trauma or merong mga bagay na nakaka-trigger sa'yo which causes you stress and anxiety. Bigyan ng panahon na i-balance yung offline and online.
Very accurate yung mga insights niyo po, Doc, no? Just for example na lang for me, nakita ko yung sa feed ko po na meron pong certain time na ang dadaming nagbe-break na gano'n, ang dadaming
Yes.
cheating issues, pati napaparanoid tuloy ako, ayoko namang
Mhm.
maging matulad, gano'n. Parang pati
Yes.
tayo naapektuhan. Pero na-realize ko po, kung nakita niyo po na parang hindi siya helpful in any way, yung content, you can easily scroll
Mhm.
up, proceed sa ibang, reels gano'n na inspiring, helpful. Ayan, nasa sa atin naman kung paano natin siya eliminate fully sa
Yes.
ating mga algorithm, ayan. So, Doc, paano naman sa ating mga youths, no? Na madaming ginagawa, juggling schools, work, family, social life, ganun po. What are some ways naman to manage all those responsibilities without feeling overwhelmed?
Number one, we can prioritize and plan. So, we can use a planner for those who are visual and kinesthetic. Pwede mong isulat actually sa planner. Or i-type mo sa phone, or i-type mo sa computer. You can set clear priorities. So, pwede mong ilagay, okay, ano ba yung pinakamahalaga sa akin? So, yun ang ilalagay ko sa schedule ko for the day. Kasi it depends on you how you will use your time, di ba? And then time blocking. Ito yung study time ko, i-block mo na siya. Ito yung work time ko, i-block mo na siya. Ito yung leisure time ko, i-block mo na siya. And then maintain flexibility. Hindi naman tayo kailangan maging perfect. So kung kailangan mag-adjust, hindi adjust lang natin. Be flexible din tayo. And then set boundaries. Hindi kailangan mag-yes sa lahat ng invitation sa atin. It's totally okay to say no. Number one, if it doesn't feel right for you. Number two, kung busy ka na at magkasabay na yung mga event, lalo kang masistress kasi you're going to try to run back and forth. O kaya, hindi mo lang talaga feel. Okay lang, kahit wala kang matinding dahilan, it's okay to say no gracefully. Sabi mo na lang, thank you for your invitation. I really appreciate it na naisip mo ako. Pero next time, at this time, di lang ako pwede. Yun lang. You don't even have to explain the telenovela. And then, communicate expectations. Kasi, kapag pinaasa natin yung mga tao, they will expect that we will be there, we will do this, we will do that, and handle this. Pareho kayo, naghihintay siya at ikaw, hindi mo magagawa. So, it also adds stress when we're trying to over-promise and under-deliver. Mas maganda, under-promise, over-deliver. Parang, you come from a sense of naka-rest ka na, and you have time, and you're happy to do something. Kaya nga it's important to take care of yourself. Yung self-care and self-love. Hindi selfish yun. Because when we're always serving others and helping others, minsan nababurn out, na-overgive. So it's important we also love and give to ourselves. Yung tamang pagkain, tamang pagtulog, tamang paggalaw, pati yung sunlight, importante yan. And also nurturing relationships. And then, may mga techniques din like delegation. Bawa, ikaw yung leader, ikaw yung naatasan. Pwede mong kausapin yung groupmates mo. Alam mo, napansin ko magaling ka sa ganitong bagay. Pwede ba ikaw dito? Ikaw naman, ito ang nakita kong strength mo. Can you be the one to take care of this? So there's a way to share it naman, the responsibility, while also uplifting the other person na hindi parang tinambak mo lang sa akin kasi ayaw mong gawin.
Very informative po yun and really na ma-apply po talaga lalo pag sa mga work sa cooperative na marami talagang may times na ma-overwhelm talaga ng work and kailangan mo talagang ma-balance and also yung good communication din is very important din. And yung ano po is yung pag-pause sometimes okay lang naman din po yun para hindi masyado
Yes.
overwhelming ang sa part ng worker or sa mga around sa ng members ng cooperative. And then yun nga po yung mga minention niyo po Doc na mga insights, yun po yung parang medyo di siya madaling gawin pero pag practice mo siya or you make it a habit, parang napakalaking tulong po nun para maiwasan po yung pagka-overwhelm sa mga bagay-bagay na ginagawa po sa co-op. And yung mga personal din po na experiences na nararanasan po ng mga youth lalo na po ngayon. So kanina po nag-overview na po tayo ng mga pwede pong gawin na para mabawasan po yung stress. So in your perspective po, paano po ba nakakatulong yung mindfulness, yung meditation, or breathing exercises po para ma-reduce po yung stress? And paano po as beginners, marami pong beginners po dito, how can we start po practicing them? Can you share po some tips po on how can we
Yes.
reduce po stress?
Yung mindfulness, meditation, and breathing exercises, hindi kailangan na complicated. Pwedeng simple lang sila. Ano ba yung natutulong nila sa atin? Unang-una, it helps regulate the nervous system. So, imbis na nandun tayo parati sa fight or flight, tatakbo na ba ako papunta, tatakbo paalis, it will bring us to a deep sense of parasympathetic. Yung parasympathetic nervous system, yun yung pag nag-deep breathing tayo, bababa ang heart rate natin, bababa yung stress hormones natin. So, ang mangyayari, ma-activate yung relaxation sa katawan natin. Yun namang emotions natin, tsaka mental health, nag-i-improve yung ating awareness because of mindfulness. Kasi we're present in the moment. Wala tayo sa past, wala tayo sa future. It's easier to recognize, ano ba nararamdaman ko? Am I angry? Am I sad? Am I fearful? Am I anxious? Am I hurt? Am I upset? So, just recognizing it alone, and then after recognition, processing it through our body is very helpful. And then it also helps us to manage these emotions when we're aware of it. It enhances focus and clarity. Di ba? Kunyari, meron tayong work or homework or deliverable sa trabaho, may project. Kapag focus tayo and clear, kahit 30 minutes, tapos natin yung project. As instead of isang buong araw na distracted, paputol-putol, iba-iba yung kausap ginagawa, hindi siya matatapos-tapos. So, it decreases the anxiety of the past and the future if we're really in the present. Tapos nare-reduce physically yung tension sa katawan, sa ulo, sa leeg, sa shoulder, sa likod, sa tuhod, sa paa, ika nga sa tiyan, all over the body. Nare-relax siya. Even the blood pressure, even the heart rate, bumababa. Paano kung beginner? Yung tanong mo, no? What if I'm a beginner? What can I do? So, I can do a quick 30-second example. So, mindful breathing. Just put your feet on the ground. Put your hands on the lap. We're going to breathe into the nose, into the belly. Then we're going to exhale to the mouth. Breathing into the nose. Hold for a moment. Exhale down to the feet. So it can be as simple as that. And then you can repeat that. Another way is you can choose a guided meditation. So pwedeng mag-play ka lang sa audio in Spotify, YouTube, iba-iba. Meron yan. To help us not to think about ano ba yung gagawin. Ifa-follow mo lang yung guided meditation para hindi ka mag-iisip. All you do is stay calm or kung tense ka, you will also address and accept the stressor in your body, and then through breathing and movement, mararelieve siya. Another one is body awareness, body scanning from the top of my head all the way down to the bottoms of my feet. Saan ba yung tense? Saan ba yung maluwag? So we can also focus on saan yung comfortable, hindi lang kung saan yung nahihirapan tayo. And lastly, when we're starting, dun tayo sa madali. Huwag nating i-attempt na 1 hour agad tayo mag-meditate o mag-movement or mag-mindfulness. Kahit 1 minute to 5 minutes lang. Kahit 30 seconds na eh. The key is to start and then practice again tomorrow. If today 30 seconds, mamayang gabi 1 minute. Bukas 5 minutes. So, up to us. Kung ano yung piliin mo yung where I can only succeed na kahit napakasimple niya. Because nabibigyan tayo ng endorphins. Kesa kung ang nilagay ko 1 hour, tapos nagawa ko lang 45 minutes. Parang nag-fail ako. So, try and choose something na pinakamadali that you can only succeed in it.
Sabi nga nila, less is more sometimes. And sa ating mga listeners, magsa-start pa lang. So, choose something that is beginner-friendly, of course. And nakarelate ako dun sa sinabi ni Doc na yung sa Spotify, nakikinig po ako yung guided meditation, yes. So, yun po yung pinapakinggan ko sometimes pag yung sobrang stress na po. And really helpful po talaga siya na ma-ease out yung tension and ma-relax po somehow. And that is something talaga na that you should try kasi very accessible na sa Spotify lang po. baka pwede nyo pong pakinggan after po ng podcast namin. Ganun po.
Yes. Make it easy.
And
Oo.
yes po. And let us now clarify naman, Doc, ano po ba yung difference between regular stress and burnout naman, Doc? And how can one recover from burnout effectively? I know na may mga listeners po kasi tayo na nako-confuse and others na iniisip po nila na baka walang pinagkaiba po yung stress tsaka burnout.
So, paano natin ma-differentiate? So, on the side of stress, temporary siya. Response sa present challenge. Kapag burnout, prolonged state na siya. Exhaustion na, overwhelm, deep depletion, emotionally, physically, mentally. Pag sa stress, pwedeng meron ka pang high energy, meron ka pang motivation, meron ka pang sense of urgency. Pag dumating na siya sa burnout dahil sa chronic stress, parang cynical ka na, detached ka na, wala ka ng motivation, give up ka na. Sa stress, meron tinatawag na eustress or good stress. It can actually push you to perform at your best. Pero pag burnout na, even the smallest task, hindi mo na siya magawa. Hindi mo na kaya mag-improve, hindi mo na kaya magpahinga or magpahinga ka man, pagod na pagod pa rin yung feeling. So, ang maganda, early pa lang, ma-recognize na natin para wag tayo umabot doon sa burnout phase. And then, how can we recover? For example, nagkaroon na tayo ng extreme stress, chronic stress, or na burnout. What can we do to help ourselves or the persons that we love, di ba? Number one, prioritize natin yung rest and recovery. There's nothing na makakapalit sa pahinga at pag-recover. You can set i-block nyo yung break time, quality sleep, at saka time to heal. Kasi it's not something na I wave a magic wand, magically, okay ka na. It will take time and effort. So, how will we find the time? Sabi ng iba, wala nga akong time. Then, that's where you set your boundary. Then, yung babawasan mo yung workload, wag mag-excess commitment ng yes to everyone and everything. Learn to say no with love and kindness. Diba? Pwede naman yon. And then also, gumawa ka ng sustainable routine. Ako, I have a set of things that I like to do. For example, breathing exercise, walking, tai chi cha, joy through movement, dancing, etc. So, nilalagay ko yung mga gusto ko. And then every day, pipili ako, alin dito yung feel ko. Alin yung gusto kong gawin. Kasi kung gusto mo siyang gawin, gagawin mo siya. Pag pinipilit mo lang, magre-react ang body, wag na lang. Kasi naglalaban sa sarili mo. So, piliin mo yung that gives a sense of reconnection and purpose, tsaka joyful yung activity sa'yo. Pag ayaw mo siya, wag mo na lang gawin. Choose something else. Or, hindi mo talaga feel, humiga ka, matulog ka, magpahinga ka. Or doon ka sa rocking chair kung you like rocking, or sa swing, or sa nature. Anything that brings you to a state na nakakapahinga yung pakiramdam mo. Parang, ang sarap naman dito, nare-relieve ako. And then, ano pa? Seek support. Look for someone who is a listener. Yung hindi ka bibigyan agad ng advice, but will be beside you, and then you can talk. You can express yourself without being judged, without being yung pipintasan ka pa or pagagalitan ka pa. Kasi lalo ka lang masistress. So choose someone like that, community or a group of friends. Or pwedeng professional, counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist. It's okay, totally okay to ask for help. Better early than later, di ba? Practice self-care. So, mag-exercise tayo, kung ano yung enjoy natin na exercise. Pwede rin tayong kumain ng tama, matulog ng maaga, magpa-araw because that gives us vitamin D3 and then helps in many functions of the body. And also establish nurturing relationship. Piliin natin who we surround ourselves with. And then lastly is, again, adjust expectations. If we tell someone or people na dati, tayo parati yung tagagawa nila, and then we say, alam mo, I am under chronic stress, nababurnout na ako. I need a 1-month vacation from our group or 1 week or however much you need. And then sabi mo, I'm willing to help again later, pero as of now, I need a break. So, Kung pwede, i-mute ko muna yung chat, yung GC natin. So, hindi muna ako magsasagot. It's not because I'm angry with anyone. It's just that I need this space and time for myself. Diba? It's how we communicate. It's not what we're doing, but how we communicate what we're doing. And then, ang mga key pillars dyan, sleep, exercise, and nutrition.
Napakaganda po nung sinabi niyo, Doc, na yung if you feel like not doing it, just don't do it muna. Pero it's not a sign of giving up or something na stop talaga totally. Parang it's the way of your body telling you to pause muna saglit. Kasi makikita po talaga yan based on experience po. Pag pinilit mo talaga po gawin yung mga bagay na parang wala ka sa mood, yung result po talaga niya is very hindi maganda compared po dun sa nakapagpahinga ka. Though mag-iisip ka ng mga backlogs, maraming gagawin pa. Pero mas maganda po yung result ng trabaho pag ganun po na nakapagpahinga, bago naman po sumabak ulit sa mga trabaho. And it's very common din kasi po, lalo na sa mga nagtatrabaho na parang yung worry po nila is baka hindi ako maabot sa deadline, hindi ako ganyan. Naman po yan, di ba po, kailangan din po talagang ng time management. And yung mga sinabi niyo po ng mga practices, gaganda po no na parang pwede po namin ma-apply sa aming life and then po sa how we treat and how we communicate with other people. And aside from that po, syempre po, 'di ba, kasi sarili po natin yung kakampi natin dito sa paglaban ng stress. Ay, yung tanong ko po is parang paano po ba yung mga faith-based practices makakatulong po para makakope ng stress and para makahanap po ng inner peace po?
Alam mo, faith and spirituality is very important. It's not just about the religion. It's about having a personal relationship with God. Isang malaking bagay na tutunan ko is forgiveness and compassion. When I had the stressful event, over 4 years ago, when I had a brain and spine injury, I was paralyzed actually from the neck down. And doon ko naramdaman yung pangangailangan talaga ng connection with our faith and spirituality. And especially forgiveness. Kasi pag wala palang forgiveness, nagbabara yung heart. And when the heart is closed, everything is closed. Hindi makadaloy yung blessing, hindi makadaloy yung gratitude, yung joy, yung love, and yung rest, yung pahinga. Kasi it's always in the mind. Pero pag pala nagkaroon ng forgiveness and compassion, and the heart opens and we have a peaceful heart, everything flows from there, even yung mga piyaya, even with our finances, with our physical health, with our relationship. And faith and spirituality gives a meaning and a purpose in our life. Nasa-strengthen yung resilience natin, mas adjustable tayo, nagkakaroon ng community support, tsaka it gives us hope, di ba? Kapag meron tayong community of like-minded, like-hearted people who support us. Tapos, pag meron tayong daily prayer or meditation, o kaya we study sacred texts, whether Bible siya or whatever other religions, books that we study, at saka may community engagement, iba talaga yung nararamdaman na support. Pag meron kayong common beliefs kasi, it's easier to relate. Minsan kasi, hinahanap natin ano ba yung magkaiba. So, nadi-divide tayo. When I was in the US for 20 years, alam niyo, na-invite ako sa iba-ibang simbahan, ng iba-ibang religion, iba-ibang paniniwala. Doon ko nakita na all of us are longing for acceptance, forgiveness, and love. So, doon ko natutunan na look at the person as they are, accept them, and no judgment based on religion or personal beliefs. But let us find, ano ba yung common? We all believe in God. We all believe in loving each other and supporting each other. So, we do things that will help us connect and be more whole as a community together. Like in our NATCO co-op, di ba? With the children, with the youth, with the community, even with the adults, I'm sure maganda ang effect kapag maganda ang relationship natin with each other. It's easier to work together and learn with each other.
Ngayon naman, Doc, paano naman po yung sleep, exercise, and nutrition play a role in stress management po, Doc? And what small changes can young people make to improve their well-being?
It sounds simple pero yan yung day in, day out ginagawa kasi natin. So ano ba yung ginagawa ng sleep? Pag quality ang sleep natin, nare-regulate yung stress hormone. Pag okay yung stress hormone, mas calm tayo, we can think clearly, we have more resilience and even our cognitive function, make sabihin, our brain, our mind can work better and even our physical body. When we have poor sleep, we develop anxiety, hindi tayo masyadong makakope even with daily challenges. Yun namang sa exercise, the physical activity in itself can release endorphins, feeling good hormones yan. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng natural stress reliever. Pag na-regulate naman natin yan, nagmaganda ang sleep quality natin, lumalalim ang tulog, tas mood booster. So, we're more happy, we're more joyful, we're more positive. Pati sunlight, kapag hindi ka naiilawan ng araw, there are countries na wala silang madilim. Kaya mga depressive sila dun sa mga, and states like sa Seattle, maraming depression kasi parating umuulan, tsaka madilim. We're lucky in the Philippines, although mainit, maraming araw. So we can just go outside, magpa-araw tayo, 30 minutes total a day, and we'll have a more uplifted mood, and mas makakatulog tayo sa gabi. Kasi pag hindi ka naarawan sa umaga, hindi alam ng body mo kung umaga or gabi. So nalilito siya matutulog ba ako o magigising, especially if you're always on a gadget or computer or TV. Ano pa? Nutrition, no? Balanced diet. If we eat a balanced diet full of whole foods, meaning totoo siyang pagkain, hindi siya nakapackage, hindi siya fake food, and good water, what happens is our brain will function better, our mood will be more stable, and then bababa yung inflammation, so mababawasan yung mga pain na nararamdaman natin sa body. If we're eating a lot of sugar, pwede tayong magkaroon ng depression symptoms kasi biglang taas, tas biglang crash, pababa. It increases stress, nagkaka-inflammation sa body. So, when we stay away from things that we know don't feel good in our body, we can help ourselves to feel better. And then when we do more of what helps us, we can feel better. Ano ba yung mga small changes? Kasi nga, mga kabataan tayo, nakisali ako, mga kabataan tayo. Pag small changes kasi, ma-incorporate natin sa araw-araw, more likely we will have it for the rest of our lives. So, one simple thing is have a consistent bedtime schedule. Kung ang sleep time mo is 10, 9 o'clock pa lang, i-off mo na lahat ng gadget. Tapos, pag-uwi mo, kung padilim na sa labas, ipadilim mo na rin sa loob ng bahay. So, dim the light just like outside in nature para ma-mimic mo what is happening outside. And then limit screen time, especially 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. And then have a relaxing nighttime routine. So bago ka matulog, schedule mo, may shower ka ba, may relaxing book, anything na nakakatulong sa'yo na mag-calm down na yung, huwag kang gagawa ng activity na gigisingin ka, tsaka or ma-agitate ka right before sleep. So huwag kang manonood na nakakatakot or anything na sobrang agitating kasi hindi ka makakatulog talaga. Aside from sleep habits, pwedeng stay active. So during the daytime, pwede kang mag-schedule ng short walk kahit 5 minutes at a time. Maglakad ka sa labas. So naarawan ka na, nakagalaw ka pa. If it's with your eyes, every 20 minutes, you can stop for 20 seconds and look 20 feet away. Kung walang makita na 20 feet away, pwedeng halaman or i-rub hands and cover your eyes while you move the eyes in different directions. Simple lang yan. Or stretching, or movement, or dance. Choose one thing. Kasi this one, I will practice today and every day this week. Next week, I'll add one more thing. Practice today, every day this week. Every day, dahan-dahan, little by little, we're practicing. And then, last, a small change is, let's eat mindfully.
Napakaraming practices na pwede talagang ma-apply. Very applicable po yan, lalo na po sa youth today. Pero yung isa po kasing natin ngayon is very, very challenging is to ask for help. Yun po yung medyo challenges sa atin, lalo na po sa mga youth kasi po may times po talaga na medyo mahirap mag-open up about certain issue and then lalo na po yung sa conversations about mental health, yun din po yung struggle nung iba na wala silang mapag-share, wala silang matanungan ng pwedeng kung ano yung gawin. So, tanong ko po, Dok, is paano po ba or when should someone seek professional help po for stress or anxiety? And paano po ba natin mabibreak yung stigma na pwede naman po nating pag-usapan po talaga yung conversations about po mental health?
Even if it's still in the beginning stages, paumpisa pa lang, pwede na tayo actually mag-seek din ng professional help. Kasi nga, there's the stigma na in the past, when you're talking to a mental health counselor, school counselor, work counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist, nako, may topak, may tama, mental yan, may problema yan. So what can we do personally and as a community dito sa NATCO, 'di ba? Youth and children and youth. Things like this, education, information, sharing with people what we know na seeking help and asking for help is actually very healthy because we are learning to give a voice to ourselves, how we feel, how we think, and what we need. If there's someone na nakita natin nahihirapan, we can actually sit down with them, just be present, or ask them, would you like me to just be here and sit beside you? Or would you like to share something? And I will just be here to listen to you. Hindi kita i-judge, hindi kita bibigyan ng advice. Whatever you need, I'll just be here with you. Okay lang ba yun? And always ask permission. Kasi some people going through difficulty, gusto nila makipag-usap, while others, they just want their space and time. So again, giving respect and honoring the person where they're at, including ourselves.
Thank you, Doc. So that wraps up our episode of the FYI podcast. Stress Detox, Reclaiming Calm in a Chaotic World. A big thank you to our guest speaker, Dr. Pauline Kimson, for sharing your insights, experiences, and practical tips on managing stress and fostering well-being in both personal and cooperative spaces. So, thank you so much, Doc. Ang dami-dami po naming natutunan sa inyo and napakaswerte po namin and ng mga listeners na makikinig po ng ating podcast kasi hindi naman po mahal yung mga tips na binigay ninyo, kaya-kaya pong gawin at their very
Oo nga.
sa kanilang mga bahay. Ayan po. May message po ba kayo sa ating mga listeners, Doc?
Yes, ang message ko sa inyong lahat, tandaan nyo parate, may nakikinig, tumatanggap, at nagmamahal sa'yo. Kahit nasan ka man, ano man ang pinagdadaanan mo, there's always someone, or just a phone call, a text message, or a chat away. Parating merong nagsusupport. Yan, tandaan nyo. Thank you po.
Thank you, Doc. And we hope today's conversation reminded you that stress is a part of life, but it doesn't have to take over your life. So whether you're a student, juggling deadlines, a young professional navigating workplace pressure, or someone simply trying to stay afloat in a noisy world, remember that you have the power to pause, breathe, and reset.
And reclaiming calm isn't about avoiding stress altogether. It's about learning how to respond to it with grace, awareness, and healthy strategies. Let's keep normalizing conversations around mental health, supporting one another through the chaos, and building communities like our cooperatives that care not just about productivity, but also people's well-being. Thank you so much to our listeners for tuning with us, and we hope today's episode gave you something valuable to reflect on and apply in your daily life.
So don't forget to follow us and stay tuned for our next episode. See you next time here on For Youth Info Podcast, Kaalaman para sa Kabataan. Bye-bye!
Bye. Thank you po.